Okay? And then that could erupt into a big mess. So be slightly removed from your design. Be objective about it. Here's a design. We think it's a good design. What do you think? And then step away from it. If it gets shot down, whatever, you know. Now it's just like this presidential election. You may not have voted for Obama, but now he's our president, so rally behind him. You know what I mean? So that's enough said about that. I would suggest try to get students to lead these presentations if at all possible. Okay? And I think the goal there is that it's a student. That's why we're here. You know what I mean? So encourage them to lead these presentations. Provide them the skills necessary to be able to speak clearly enough about their designs to make people understand it. Ask them difficult questions. Don't just let them give their presentation, not understand what they're talking about, and then let them go sit down. Make sure that you help them communicate that well enough so that people do understand. Okay, and I'll show you in a minute one of the things that we do that sort of helps with this. We already talked about that one, so let's go on. Okay, now, once you're done with all that, I know this is a lot we've already done here, but now go home and sleep on it. Okay? You've gotten a lot of information from a lot of different people. You've looked at a lot of different designs. You've taken a lot of notes. Go home and just let your brain process it. I don't know about you, but my brain does wonderful things while I'm sleeping, and I always wake up with some great idea. You know, it's like processes everything while I'm sleeping, and I wake up and I got an answer. In fact, the other day, I got a Wii not too long ago, and I couldn't figure out how to, it was a ski game, and I couldn't figure out how the controller was working, even after going through the stupid tutorial. And I woke up the next morning, and I was like, I know what I gotta do. And so I went and jumped up on the Wii, and bam, it worked. So anyway, definitely sleep on it. When you come in the next day, you're gonna be refreshed. All the stresses and the arguments that you had the day before, they're all gone, and now you're gonna start a whole new day with even bigger stresses and arguments, and you know, this is the day, go ahead, that I would suggest it's the smaller group. All those dignitaries and parents and all those people, they don't need to be here today. Okay, this is the day that your group is going to make the decision. So just limit it to your group, because they don't need to see or hear the arguments that are going to go on. Okay, try to limit it, but this is where you're going to make the decision on how it's going to work, what the design will be. When you walk out of this room, and everybody will walk out, there will be a design selected, okay? And you have to come to kind of an agreement up front that that will happen. Otherwise, you could drag this out forever, you know? So, make it happen. Before this day, before the Sunday, when you're going to make this decision, you got to create this decision matrix. This is a really powerful tool. Well, I'll show you an example of one in a minute here. But what this is going to allow you to do is assess the designs. Has anybody ever seen a decision matrix? 2 people. Okay, 3 people. Awesome. Okay, you know, if you come into this conversation with this design that you're very emotionally connected to, you know, you've put like 10, 12 hours into thinking about it and working with your members of your little sub-team, and you get in there and you're like, this is the best design, this is what we should do, right? If you don't have a way to objectively stand away from that design, look at it and compare it to the other designs, kind of like you would in Consumer Reports. You guys have all seen Consumer Reports, right? Mm-hmm. The magazine where it lists all the different brands and all the different elements that they're analyzing the designs apart. That's going to give you some numbers, some figures that you can just look at those figures and say, okay, well clearly, based on the categories that we said are important here, design 3 is the one we want to go with. Okay? And if you agree beforehand, and we made the mistake last year of not coming up with this decision matrix beforehand, and not coming up with any agreed upon standards of how we're going to go about this, it became a very, very uncomfortable place to be. So have all this set up up front, make sure that everybody's in agreement on it, and then stick to it. That would be my recommendation. What would you say, Brad?
I totally agree. It's a really simple process.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's invaluable for keeping people from getting upset.
Yeah, exactly. So as you'll see, and I'm going to flip to this slide in a second here, but you're going to see that there are going to be values assigned to qualities that you're going to analyze your robot design on, like speed, designability, fabrication ability, like how hard is it to build, like different categories, right? You're going to rate each team's idea based on each quality. So design 1 looks like it's going to be really slow, but yet, you know, it'll be able to do all of the different things we want it to do, okay? So you're going to kind of assign values to each of these things. Then you'll have a total for each team, for each design, and then the highest total wins. Now, that highest total wins business, you can either say carte blanche, whatever, you know, we're going to go with the values on the chart, or you can use that as a tool and say, you know, we'll kind of weigh that and we'll do a vote. However you want to do it, but just come up to some kind of preconceived decision on how this is all going to roll out. Then, oh, one other thing though. So say you've got 4 designs you're considering. You don't have to stick with those 4 designs. You can certainly say, okay, well everybody likes the extending arm on design 1, everybody likes the transmissions on design 2, and everybody likes the simplicity design 3, so let's just combine all those 3 and make design 5. Okay, it's possible to do that sort of thing, and you can certainly incorporate that on the fly. So let's go to the next slide.